So you've probably been asking yourself the question, like you're ready to make an investment, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do that, but kind of what are some of the things that you should take into consideration before you actually do that? Well, I'm gonna share some takeaways from a real estate investing podcast that I've been listening to that I know are gonna help you out. So why don't you go ahead and hang on just a second, because I'll be talking to you about it coming up. Hey there, it's Billy with Keep on Cashflow, and I'm back once again to continue to share some tips and strategies with you that are gonna help you to go out and make more money. They're gonna help you have more control over your free time, and ultimately, they're gonna help you to live with less stress. So if this is your first time here, why don't you go ahead and subscribe to the channel, and also, why don't you go ahead and stick around until the end and make sure that you check out the links and the comments that are at the end of the video. And let me just go ahead and ask you right up front. If you find value in this video, why don't you go ahead and share as well as give it a like. Always helps us to go out and reach other people. And if you find value, well, you probably know people that this will also help. So, but let me come back to this whole thing about making an investment and some of the things that you should consider. Now, like a lot of people, I love to go out and listen to podcasts, and when I have time, like let's say between here and going to the airport, or when I'm on a plane, or when I'm on the train, or even when I'm in my car. So, and one of the podcasts that I was listening to recently, and I've also been really fortunate because I happened to meet the person who, in person, that he has this podcast, and he was talking about something that's close to my heart. He's a guy who is Canadian, and he travels and works frequently and does development in the United States, and he also has some European roots, and so that was really cool when we had a chance to meet one another. And recently he had a podcast, and he was talking about, he had a question that came in from someone, and it was asking him about renting or purchasing a short-term rental in Portugal, right? So somebody who was stateside, I believe. And so this guy, and I'll try and figure out how we get that in the video here. The guy's name is Victor Minaj, and he has a podcast called Real Estate Espresso. Great content, great perspective. He's someone who's a veteran real estate developer and investor. And basically, he took on this question, and it was more or less saying, hey, listen, I think that there's a great property. It's going to be fantastic. Should I buy it? Right? And I think just in the same way you would ask me that question, I would probably say, well, it depends on what your criteria are and if that's the right thing for you. So rather than just asking the question, he gave a couple of things to think about. And because it was so much in line with what we talk about as a community, as a tribe, I just wanted to bring that and reinforce the message once again. So even for those of you that are asking me, should you make this investment, should you not? A lot has to do with the context of where you are in your life, what your goals are, why you want to be able to do certain things, and then make sure that that investment aligns with what your own philosophy is, right? That's at the end of the day the most important thing. But let me give you three things, and these were takeaways that that Victor was also sharing, and so I thought I would share them with you, and you'll see why I say that this is so in line with what we talk about all the time as a tribe. So rather than just making the investment, the first thing that you should always be thinking about, or actually there are three key things that you should be thinking about. And number one is, especially as it relates to real estate and the type of real estate that you're going to invest in, number one is, where is the location, right? Does the location help you to get what it is that you are trying to get as an investor, right? So many of us, and we talked about this in other videos, as an investor, you typically have a couple of different, especially real estate investor, if you're looking at either cash flow as an outcome. Sometimes you're looking at capital gains, and that means that you want to create lots of cash in a very short amount of time. So kind of like that buy low, sell high thing. And you create an event, typically it's sometime a taxable event, but let's not get into the weeds there. So you're typically looking for cash flow or capital gains. Sometimes you're looking for tax benefits as well. And you want to make sure that wherever the location that you are investing in, like, Are there people moving to that location? Are there jobs that are being created, and whether that's because it's a short-term rental and there's going to be lots of activity, and that's going to help you to increase your prices. Maybe it's a beachfront resort, or maybe it's an urban location for the short-term rental, and you are working more towards business people. But the idea is that the location has to help you either get to your cash flow, your capital gains, or your tax benefits kind of objectives. And that's the first point. And he really talked a lot about the location. The second thing that I just want to reinforce is this whole question of the team. Right? You want to make sure that, especially if you're looking to do things on a larger scale, right? And this is something that I faced in the very beginning when I was doing things by myself. I wasn't thinking, I was building different pieces of the team. But actually, when you're looking to invest on a larger scale, you really want to understand the team that you're investing with. Like, how much experience do they have in the type of asset class that you want to do? Meaning, are you in short-term rentals? Are you in multifamily? Are you in mobile home parks? Are you in commercial retail? Does the team that you're aligning yourself with, do they have experience in that area? And do they have it over a long period of time? Like, their track record demonstrates that they are experts in that area. And you can do due diligence on your team, and you can find out, and you can not only ask their references, but find out different types of opportunities that they've been a part of before, and really do your follow-up and understand what role that they played and things like that. So the team is really a crucial point here. And then the last part is really looking at the specific opportunity. So whether that's a short-term rental, how is that short-term rental going to play back into the overall goals that you want? I mean, are you doing that? It's a short-term rental, or it can be a multifamily residential, it can be a commercial residential, all these different things. And what benefits are you getting from that? Is it specifically an economic benefit? Do you have some type of personal benefit, meaning it's like that you want to be able to give back to the community? Because one of the things is, it's not always, and most of you may want to think about, it's not always just being able to get money. There are people that will do things and are doing things because they want to be able to give back to a community, or because they want to be able to give time to a community. And you want to make sure that this specific opportunity, whatever it is, aligns with what your goals are. And so, like I said, these are just some of the different things that really resonated with me when I was listening to Victor's Real Estate Espresso podcast. I thought it would be important to share it with you, and also because it aligns with a lot of the things that we talk about in Keep on Cashflow, the tribe. So we talk about what is it that you want to do personally. We talk about where's the different locations that are involved. We talk about the team, and we talk about the specific opportunity. So this really brings it home and reinforces that message. So the three things to consider before making an investment: think about the location, think about the team that you are aligning with, who you're going to entrust your time and your capital with, and then lastly, does the opportunity actually align with what it is that you want to be able to do? And so, like I said, these things are close to my heart, and this is some of the things that we've talked about before. And most of you know that I still am working in a multinational during the day, and I'm investing in cash flowing assets in the evening. I've written an ebook. It's a free ebook for you. All you need to do is, I'm sure I'll leave a link here somewhere, but if not, you can go to keeponcashflow.com/roadmap. Leave your email address there, and I will send out a free ebook for you. There's a course that's there afterwards, and it's probably not the right time for you right now. That's okay, but pick up the ebook. It's for you. And then, when it makes sense, or if it makes sense for you, you'll come back and we'll talk about the course and more of the deeper dive. So for those of you that are really serious about going out and making impact. So yeah, like I said, this is Billy Keels. This is my 2 cents for today. And I always like to say, hasta la próxima.